Fight, fight, fight!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Filter Gen Z. My name is Camden, and this is Lydia and Mariah today with me. We are young Americans who are fighting to defend the truth and to defend what a woman is, because half the country doesn't know what that is anymore. And that's what we're going to get into today, all about the image of a woman and how it's being distorted by even men and men that think they're women and all kinds of stuff. But guys, before we start, I want to show you something that I got finally. Ready?
Oh boy.
Yay!
Oh, it's here.
It's done.
It wasn't a meme. I thought it was going to be a meme.
Nope,
so
not
this
this
is
time.
good.
I was ready for something.
My book is officially out, so I'm gonna link in the description. I'll give the link to you guys if any of the viewers want to buy this. It's all about fearless masculinity, embracing the man that God created you to be, and that kind of ties into what a woman is as well, because you know we were created by God differently on purpose for a purpose, and I think a lot of men, you guys could benefit from just hearing what I think and helping. It's like a roadmap to finding who God really made you to be. So link in the description. I just wanted to show you guys because it's finally done.
That's awesome. I'm so excited to get it.
I know.
pre-ordered it a
You
long
guys
time
will get
ago.
it soon.
Yes.
Amazing.
Very
And-
excited.
Yeah. So let's start this episode. You guys are both women. I'm not. So I'll start with you guys. What does it mean to be a woman today and how it's being distorted in the culture right now?
Well, I would say, first of all, fundamentally who you biologically are. There's no
Good
other
answer.
spin you can put on that. It is how you were born, and there's nothing that can ever change that because it is God's inherent original intent. This is his design for you, whether you are supposed to be male or female. And that's as simple as it is and as simple as it should be.
Yeah.
And so that the fact that we're needing to have this discussion, every couple months about what this actually means, is really sad. So yeah, that's what I would say. I'm just going to keep it simple and say that, but yeah.
Yeah.
No words, no other words. Yeah, I agree. It's literally, it's about a biological sex. And I think the fact that has been redefined in today's society, people are saying that a woman is a group of it's a social norm.
It's
and
a social construct.
A woman is a social construct.
Oh,
I
gosh.
quite literally heard someone say that at the Charlie Kirk event
Me
that
too.
we were all
It's
at. It was a teacher, and that's insane.
Yeah.
And-
Let's talk about that. That was a teacher.
A man, by the way. Yeah, a male teacher. Yeah.
A male teacher who said that woman was a social construct. That is what is going on in society today, is people are redefining a woman.
So,
and that's scary.
how do you guys feel about a man telling you that you don't actually exist? Like that was a teacher, a guy that said that women, they're not real. They're a social construct.
It would be different if a man was actually correct in saying, what a woman is, but the fact that he's completely wrong and saying it confidently is what gets me. And the fact that he also was a teacher, that is like the epitome of the left that we've seen in the past couple years. What we've seen ever since COVID. I mean, that is who we're seeing. And the fact that they're, teaching and equipping supposedly the next generation, is very scary. It's a very scary thought.
When I have kids, I don't want their teacher to say that women aren't real, that they're a social construct. I don't want them to be taught something that's not true. Like, how can you support that? It's not real.
No,
Really?
It's so disappointing. It's disappointing, and it's also scary because you're thinking about how this is somebody who's raising the next generation of kids. Can you imagine your child coming home and saying, "Hey, guess what I learned today? I learned what a woman was," and you're sitting here thinking, "Oh yeah, it's a
social
biological
construct.
sex, right?" Yeah, I would be so flabbergasted. That's the word I'm going to use, because that's quite literally insane to me.
Yeah, it is insane, and that's what you're right, Lydia. That's what the left has done in the past few elections, years, because they keep on going that way. They keep on going farther from the truth, and it's funny because the same people that are saying that are saying trust the science, but they don't even know what a woman is. They can't define it. They can't define what a woman is. Like, how can you?
No.
the whole entire essence of the left is contradiction right now. That's what that is, because you can't say trust the science and then say it's a social construct, because those are two completely different things. And they'll claim that like sex and gender are two different things, and then it gooed on the whole rabbit hole of what that looks like to them. Then you see them show up at Charlie Kirk event, and then you see exactly what we saw. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll say, if someone's watching this, and I think it's pretty clear who's a woman here and who's not. It's not that hard. It's easy. It's.
Yeah.
I don't have words either. I just don't understand how we're getting this far. I think that's why this election went the way it did in the past election, because people don't like that we're just trying to redefine the truth into like what we want. There's Mariah, we talked about this on one of the first few episodes, is that the truth is objective. It's not subjective. You can't change the truth because you want it to be true.
Yeah, you can't
can you?
redefine. You can't just redefine a woman just because you personally feel a certain way on the inside. Like, you know, if there are certain men out there that feel like women, then ultimately their flesh, their emotions are going to want to be validated in that. Yeah. So then there's this whole movement started like, well, if you feel this way, like, this is who you are. And that's just not how it works. And so it's sad because you're starting to realize that, like, I mean, the flesh is taking over. Like, there's and the Bible even talks about this, like, our flesh is not to be trusted. It's not to be followed. And you're just seeing more and more in this society of people just going by how they feel all the time, or like whatever feels right. Like, I've actually seen, there is literally a kid show, and I don't know what it was called, but they were saying like, oh, I don't want to be called this because it doesn't feel right to me. I want to be called they, them pronouns. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but you're already teaching children that, oh, I don't really like this. I don't feel good with this. So let me go by they, them, because that
And we
feels
wonder why
right.
children are confused. We wonder why young people are confused.
Yeah.
We're
that
teaching
is never,
them.
Yeah, that kind of thing is never meant to be told to someone that young.
No.
Because again, their minds are so easily shifted every which way. And so if you tell them one thing, they're going to take it and run with it. And then they're going to think that is what they're supposed to follow and what they're supposed to do. And, you know, even at the end of the day, I will say this, I wouldn't even want to give people the power to change, you know, their gender, but not really, so to speak, when they're adults. Because people do say that, like, you know, when they're adults, like, they can make the decision. But again, no, I would prefer they don't. You know what I mean? As anybody who knows the truth, and anyone who follows the Lord and sees, you know, that there is a difference between genders. Yeah, and I think that's Lily Tino.
Yeah, we're gonna watch a quick video since we're talking about the they, them, and pronouns and stuff. Just watch this real quick. Like, is this real?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Wow. And
Not getting up from the... Oh.
No.
It always hurts.
Anyways.
What?
The thing is, though, I see him pop up on my feed every now and then, and you can see it's like he is people. And if you look at the comments, people will be like, you're baiting like the waiters and waitresses, and you're like, making them stumble, and you're filming for your own benefit, and you're filming because you want to entrap them, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and so
like,
I mean, that's victim mentality at its finest.
Yeah,
it really is.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So.
And the fact that you're filming it, like, it tells me everything I need to know. Because if you were truly, like, deep down, like, this is one of the most embarrassing things that's happened to you, you're not going to put it on the internet. Like, if somebody said something to me that I found really offensive, I'm not going to, like, blast it all over the internet and be like, look, I'm really hurt by this. Like, no, because that's actually just weird. Like, that's embarrassing. I would have just kind of let it go. I would want to forget about it. But no, this is all over the place. It's all over TikTok. And for the world to see. So what's the goal here?
I thought it was a joke when I first saw it. Like I thought that was like someone pretending to be like that to like make fun of that. But like if you're like you just said, Mariah, if you're going into public filming it for that very reason, it's rude to the servers, first of all, like if you're going to do that in a restaurant, but also it's if you can't clearly see that that's a man, then you have the problem more than they do. Like it's so obvious, and every time it's these people that are so offended by every single thing like that. Like, oh, yeah, you look like a man. Of course people are going to call you sir. What do you think? You are a man.
Yes, it's common sense that is being thwarted at this point. And there is a part of me that really does, at the end of the day, pity him, because I'm like, for him to be so lost in seeking so much validation for something, you know, again, to post on the internet and smear the people that are actually serving him, because he is in their restaurant and they are serving him, and he's, you know, he has the gall to do that, which is really sad. And then there comes to a point where, you know, I don't pity him for the fact that he felt the need to post that, and he continues to post. If you see his content, he posts that kind of stuff all the time, and he literally, there was a clip of him, I think he was at Disneyland or Disney World, wherever, but he was talking about, you know, when he had his surgery on the bottom, and he was describing it in front of children at Disney. Yes.
That's horrible.
So, yeah, so that is extremely creepy, and that is predatory. And so it comes to a point when I don't have sympathy for that, because that is what we talk about when we are concerned about men walking into women's restrooms, because we're concerned about things like that. So
yeah, with someone like that too, because you know that they're confused and they don't. I mean, I don't know if a lot of it, I think, is for attention. Not everybody's like that, but this guy in particular, I think it's for attention. But that's where I like draw the line. Yeah, go do that if you really want to, but you're not going into a girl's restroom because you say you're a girl.
No.
Just because you say you're a girl doesn't mean you're a girl.
Yeah, because that's how these horrible tragedies have happened when, you know, men are going into women's locker rooms and things are happening. It's happening more often than people would like to admit to. So
yeah, and why are we celebrating this stuff? Like there's a whole movement that wants to celebrate and confirm these people and what they're doing, when really most of the people that are like, if you actually are confused about who you are, I wouldn't want to be in the same conversation as that guy. You know, there's like two different spectrums of this whole thing. There's people that are just creepy, like Lydia said.
Yeah.
And
disgusting.
Being in locker rooms, it's not even being offended. It's just weird. It's just weird if you want to go into a girl's locker room when you're not a girl.
Like, it's not about me being offended that, like, these people just simply exist. Like, I'm not sitting here like, oh, like, I can't believe you exist. Like, I wouldn't say something like that. But when you start to, like, first of all, force it, and you start to try and make it normal, that's when I start to feel weird, especially around children, and when you're talking about going into women's restrooms and, like, really weird stuff like that. Because, you know, I've seen people trying to counter it, like, oh, yeah, well, would you really be comfortable, like, seeing this person in a man's restroom? And it's, like, someone obviously posing to be a woman. And I'm like, no, I actually don't want any of it. I actually don't think any of it's appropriate. I think it's gross. And, you know, I would just feel really uncomfortable knowing, like, someone talking about their genital surgery at Disney.
To kids is crazy.
To That's kids, crazy. I mean, like, yeah, I don't want that in a bathroom near me. No thanks. I'd rather not. Yeah, and it just goes to show, even the people that maybe seriously are struggling with that, but they're not, you know, blasting it on the internet, you know, those are the people I do have sympathy and pity for, because you know, you are confused, and the enemy has lied to you about who you are and who your identity is. And so, you know, I get people will claim that us, you know, conservatives will stereotype them into all one box. But at the end of the day, I mean, we have to be cautious. We have to do that to protect our children to an extent, because that's why we are so strict about the bathroom thing, because that kind of thing can happen. But I will, you know, I don't want to, you know, mark that there are some that seriously are confused and that they do need help, and that they're not creepy, but they're really just lost in their thinking.
Yeah. So, and then it brings up the question with women. Why are we this is what we do. For right now, women are shamed for being feminine right now. Like the whole culture is telling you that you can't be feminine and men can't be masculine. But women are being shamed for that, but we're celebrating men in dresses. It's like a complete counter truth. You know, like we're literally flipping things on its head right now in the culture. So what do you guys have to say about that? Why and how do you feel being a woman, being told that you can't be like that, but we're celebrating men who want to wear a dress? That's weird.
Yeah, once again, this is just such a crazy topic to even answer on because I can't believe we've gotten here.
It's really happening though.
I know. I don't know. I think that it's almost, I mean, I don't want to try and say that I'm offended over everything because I'm trying to like stand my ground and like just be a representation of Jesus and being loving and everything and not be all, I'm really offended. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I truly am. I do take a little bit of offense to people who are trying to pose as women who are not women. Especially when they start getting privileges that they shouldn't be getting, when they start getting some special treatment and, you know, calling them a woman it's just not right. So, you know, when I see a man in a dress or like in women's clothes, I start to question like what's really going on there and why are we celebrating this? Because as a woman, it's personally weird to me and I don't feel comfortable. And if you're making real women uncomfortable and taking away opportunities from them in other spaces, right? Like when there was the issue of like the men and women's sports, which since then I'm very thankful that Trump has signed that to get rid of the men and women's sports. I think that's huge.
It is. It's common sense again, but
it is common sense. But I'm really like when men start to take over those things, I mean, we're kind of just going back to the bare minimum, like going back to the bottom, square one.
Yeah, the same party that's like all for women's rights and stuff are literally taking away women's rights by like giving them to men who think they're women.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
No. And the thing is, the way that we are being amounted to dresses and that men who think they're women are, you know, thinking that, okay, in order for me to be a woman and appear a woman, I have to wear a dress. Like first of all, more than a dress.
Yeah.
I'm more than, and then, you know, they also have changed the terminology from, you know, pregnant women or, you know, women that are pregnant person or birthing person.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
First of all, I am more than that. Like for you to think that you have to change the terminology, and that I, you know, cannot be referred to as a mother. And then it's like birthing person and things like that. It just, it makes you feel very degraded as a woman. Because again, we're first of all, you know, having children is a big part of what women can do, but also we're more than that too. I mean, we have other things to offer, and for people to think that they can amount us just to certain things and, you know, shift the culture there and change the terminology, that, you know, I also take offense to that. I do. I think it's really sad. I think it really is sad.
Is it really that hard to understand that only women can get pregnant and have a baby? Like, have you guys seen this where it's like two men and they're like pretending to give birth and like be pregnant and stuff to a baby? Like, there's literally two men like with the baby. They're like reenacting a birth. Even it's just so gross to me and so anti-women that I can't believe the same people that do these things are like pro-women. They're not.
And
That's
to think
so
that
weird.
they think it's not offensive that they're doing that, like they think what they're doing is completely normal.
Yeah.
That's also mind-boggling. Wow. Yeah.
I know, we're all
crazy.
speechless. It's weird.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I also remember seeing the video of the very popular Dylan Mulvaney. You guys probably know. And he does day 100 of being a woman, and he wears dresses, and that's it. But he's like, well, I put on a dress today. I'm going hiking or whatever. There was one of him like hiking, and it's just that's what it comes down to. Really, is like putting on a dress. Like, because that's the only thing it does different. It's like, what?
Exactly. They think that's all it is? Really?
Yeah.
So, then again, the same party that's like, oh, women empowerment, women in STEM, women in STEM is pretty cool. But, like, stuff like that, like women empowerment and all this stuff, all of a sudden, when it comes down to being trans or having, a different, like, you want to dress up as a woman even if you're not trans, like, it's just like, why are you boiling it down to that, even though you literally stand for, like, the whole women empowerment thing? Like, it's just, you have to have logic there, and there's none.
Yeah. It's contradictory. Again, I've said previously that the left has contradicted themselves so many different times, and so again, that's another contradiction that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are gonna take this as like we're just like offending them and being defensive about it, but really we care about it because it's the future. Like, if people are gonna keep going this way, then our children are gonna be taught weird things, and that's why I wrote this. Because a lot of men are confused about who they are. Like, I'm not just saying that because I wrote it. I'm saying, like, that's why I wanted to do something, because people are confused, and I think it's actually that we're actually talking about it means we do care about it. It's not like we're just laughing and being like, really? No, it's that there's a real problem here, and people are they really do have a mental problem, and it's the best way I heard it ever with trans stuff is, it's not a body problem, it's a mind problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they think that cutting their body off will, fix the problem, but it's really a mind problem at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it is a spiritual attack. I mean, it is, the enemy is lying to people, and he is, telling them that there's something that they're not. And so again, that goes back to the mind thing. It really is spiritual. And so it's just very interesting to see just how the enemy just has twisted culture, and just in the way that he's done it, and how it's kind of crept up on us. And, we sometimes think it's getting better, and then, something else happens. And so it's like this perpetual cycle. And again, that just goes back to the fact that we live in a fallen world.
Yeah.
And this is not something that can be 100% completely fixed on this side of heaven, Mm-hmm. I mean, this is something that is because of the fall of man. And so we have to deal with what this is, but we can, as Christians and as people that know the truth of who we are and who God has made others to be, we can be a light to others. We can be a light in the darkness, because the darkness can't overcome the light at the end of the day.
So we have to be bold on it, because it's the truth being twisted at the end of the day. It's not something that we're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna accept you and celebrate it, because it's just reverse. It's offensive to women, and I don't like that. But for you guys as women, what's your message to girls who are being told all these things about how they shouldn't be a girl, or their femininity is not real, and that they, the culture just switches everything? What's your message to young girls that might be being told that stuff?
I would say, number one, like, you are who God created you to be. There is no way around that. Like, God formed you in the womb. It says that in the Bible. And there's nothing else that he wanted to change. Like, he did not want to change anything about you, because he made you just the way you are. And so when you're hitting this age, let's say you turn 14, 15, you start getting exposed to this stuff, just know that, like, God would have made you differently if he wanted to, but he didn't. And I would also say, like, it's important to embrace your feminine side. It's really important, because if we have strong feminine women, and we have women who are willing to just embrace the beauty of womanhood, I mean, like, it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful that we are made to be nurturing and loving, and it
is beautiful.
I would say a lot of women are made to be mothers. Maybe that's not God's will for everybody, but I'd say for a lot of us. And so, like, if that's God's will for you, I'd say embrace that too, and, like, take pride in the fact that you can literally grow a child inside of your body. That is absolutely huge, and that is that's not something to back away from, and it's not something to label as pregnant person either. So I would say, like, accept the fact that you are a woman, and don't back down from that. Don't back down from the fact that, other people might try and change the labels. Just know deep down that, like, that is a special thing.
Yeah.
And you look at also strong women and strong leaders in the Bible, and you see how the Lord used them. Just, he used them like he used men too, but he used them obviously because again, biologically, men and women, we have different qualities and strengths that make us special, but we're equal in the fact that we're both valued just as much by God.
Yeah.
And so I think that, young women, we should, heed to that fact, and we should just know that in our heart that the Lord can use men and women, and that we don't have to, like Mariah said, we don't have to shy away from our, femininity, because that's so important. And that is a huge distinction of us between men, and we should embrace that. And that, I just encourage young women to just continue to be bold in who they are and who God has made them to be. And that, if anyone tries to tell them, who they're supposed to be as far as gender wise, and, if, the enemy has planted, a root in their mind, that you would be able to, find good, strong women in your life that would be able to speak truth and life into you, because ultimately that's the most important thing, to know the truth. And so, yeah, that would be my message.
And I'll say this, there's a reason why God made male and female, and there's a reason why he made them differently. Because when a masculine man and a feminine woman come together and like actually become one, they actually do complete each other, and you can never get the perfect oneness without both. You just can't. You can't recreate what God meant to come together in a different way. He made man and woman differently for a reason. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's actually something we should celebrate, because the feminist movement has wanted to say, like, it's not fair. Like, man, it's not, we're not equal, but I think we're not equal on purpose in different ways. Men are better at things, and women are better at different things. And then when we come together, it's beautiful and it's amazing, and we complete each other.
Yeah, that's so good.
You just can't recreate it. God is like, people really think that he made a mistake. No, he made the universe. Look how perfect it is everywhere, besides what humans did to it. But like, just to even exist, all the things that had to go right. God is amazing. He's a masterpiece, and he made all of us in our unique ways. So something to celebrate, not to be ashamed of.
Unique men and unique women, because all women aren't made the same.
Exactly.
We all have different qualities in ourselves. So.
Men as well.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
it's how it was supposed to be, right? And like when, like I said, when men and women come together, like as one, as husband and wife, like there is no thing that can compare to that. And I think that's why you're seeing, I mean, we've talked about this in the past, but when you see kids with like single parents, like single mothers, single fathers, they oftentimes have more issues to work through. And that's because they weren't raised in the household that, they
didn't get both.
Yeah, they didn't
the
get
original
both.
intent. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they can't be used though. Like that is not, because there's, like we were talking about last episode, there's so many people in this generation who have to deal with that. But you know what? Like the Lord can use that too. And sometimes he can use things just to glorify him and to
redemption.
Bring redemption to the situation.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like when a man and a woman come together as one, they literally create life. Literally. That's how amazing it is. So it's actually a miracle, and we're all different for a reason. So it's not something to be ashamed of. Thank you guys for coming to this episode. I think we hit the nail on the head with this one, with like two women and a man. We have different perspectives, and like you guys said, not every woman's the same, not every man's the same, but we were created for a purpose. So thank you guys for being bold.
You.
Perfect.
Yes, of course.
All right, see you guys next time. Click that subscribe button if you're watching and you like the conversation. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and we'll see you next time. Peace.